This is a very rainy, mucky day, and it looks like it's going to be the same for the whole week here. So today we're going to go to the Grange. We're going to be doing lots of content here today, I think. The thing is that this part of the Grange is a bit messy at the moment because there's a lot of work happening. This is going to be our new fence, the neighbor, so all the material for that is here. We cleared some stuff from upstairs as well. So for me, that's a perfect opportunity. You see, something gets in the way. Think about it as an opportunity. It's a perfect opportunity for us to start utilizing the upstairs, because I haven't really recorded much stuff here, like as a content, and just occasionally showing you through the vlogs. But well, we have all of this big playground here, so I think it's time to start utilizing it. Now, lights a bit dim, but I have some lights. And yeah, let's get set up and do some stuff. I don't understand. Coffee. Very important. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a little bit of a sound of the water running down the roof, which is nice. Also, in the long run, so come with me. Here's where we come up the stairs to the garage, okay? This is the first section as such. It's divided by these big beams into three kind of sections. In the long run, this will be probably Natalie's space. I'm thinking there's going to be actually a separate room here that we're going to build eventually. Then we get to the middle section, which has a couple of different purposes. First of all, this railing here made of pallets. We can get rid of some of the pallets, which help us to lift stuff. We need to bring something up here. There's the downstairs front door. So this space here in the middle, it's obviously at the moment a little bit of a storage for some wood, but that's fine. It's still a big enough space, and I'm thinking, well, we were thinking straight away there's going to be kind of a lounge area, so there's going to be probably eventually a couch there, and maybe, you know, if you need to do some sort of coffee making area. I guess we're obsessed with coffee, so that's going to be here. But I'm also been thinking about, because we've been doing, well, Natalie's been doing the podcast with her sister in the caravan, and it is a tight spot, but it's a great starting point for it. But in the long run, I would like to actually see maybe some sort of a, you know, voiceover recording, podcast recording space. So maybe it's some sort of table and, you know, a couple of microphones and just a nice little loungy area that you can do multi-space. And then if I'm recording something and I need extra space, I can use this for that as well. Now then, the last steps here, we go up another level. And this here, which now is the kind of the attic space, currently storing some stuff. This is the space that I will eventually build a little bit bigger studio than the one that the caravan is. I don't yet know how I'm going to divide it all at that point, whether it's going to be a case of I'll have the caravan for little stuff and this for some bigger stuff, or I'll eventually move the whole studio here. I don't know yet. We'll see. But I do want to do stuff that I need more space for, which is specifically like recording more people at the same time, for starters. Also, I want to do kind of, well, I want to be able to record drums for sure, but even more so, I want to do kind of homemade percussion stuff, and I need a bit of space for it, and like finding things that just make great sounds and create some music with that kind of stuff. So that's what this space is eventually going to be like. So you can see we're here at the back wall of it, and behind me, that corner is where we came up from. So it's far enough, it's big enough. And like here, I mean, obviously the beams are going to be a little bit of a pointed, like I don't have a, well, here I have a great height, but I do have like, yeah, all the way down here, and there's another bit, but it's, the middle space is very, very substantial. And then when it goes under here, like I can easily put, like, for example, my desk under here, as long as I don't hit my head when I get up. But even the desk part of it, I'm not going to be on top of the desk part. So I can utilize even these narrower corners a little bit. Now, obviously, I can still hear the cars driving by. So all of this needs to be insulated very well, which will dampen the sound. And then I would imagine there's going to be some sort of this beam thing here is going to be some sort of barrier. Whether I'm going to do full on wall, I don't know. In an ideal world, I would love to be somehow open, even just visually. So even if it could be windows, but having a full wall of windows in studio is not exactly the most ideal thing. But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So there's a lot of room here. But now I really want to start using this space already, because this is a long-term plan. This is going to take us a while to do. I mean, we've renovated the inside of the house, and it ate well into our budget. So it's time for us to kind of cool down a little bit. There's still certain things that we have to do, but this Grange, it can wait a year or two before we actually put a full-on work on it. If the money appears, of course, I'm going to start working on it straight away. But right now, it can wait. And in the meantime, I want to use this space. I want to use this space for, recording stuff, doing content. Because there's a nice vibe here. It's, there's lots of old cobwebs here and everything, which, someday are going to get cleaned up. But right now, it kind of adds to the atmosphere of it. And I want to utilize this space. So today, it starts. So this is what I'm looking at the moment. And don't for a second think that I'm any kind of expert at this. I do not know what I'm doing. I'm just winging it as it goes. Sometimes it looks good, sometimes it doesn't. Right now, it'll be fine. That's all I can say. I have a bit of a mixture of colors. We'll worry about that later. There's another light at the back there, but we shall see. The camera should be picking something like this, probably. I don't know. Maybe a little bit closer. Yeah, I know a little bit about how you're supposed to do this stuff. Do I follow any of that instruction? Rarely, really rarely. I'm just kind of plonk them somewhere and see if it works, and if it doesn't, either do it again or fix it in the edit kind of thing. So I think I'm going to start with a couple of songs first, get the songs out of the way because they're kind of the longer pieces of content. I've got 2 songs ready to go, and one is coming out this Friday. By the time you see this vlog, it will be out. A song called Howl at the Moon. So that's going to be the 12-string driving hard. The problem with this setup is that I'm using a Rode microphone on that, and it's not the ideal for picking up. You know, if I strum hard, which I always do, it's kind of struggles a little bit getting the it ends up burying the vocal a little bit, but we'll see. I'm gonna try to sing it loud, and we take it from there. So if I get those done first, then another song coming out later on, which is Do What You Are. That's probably coming out on mid-October. But if I could do a live version of that already, it would put me a little bit ahead of schedule. So here's the thing. I like to batch record stuff because if I'm every day setting up and finding a new place to do, it would take me an insane amount of time. But if I manage to do a batch of stuff, like I did last month, I did about 3 weeks worth of content in space a couple of days, and I'm kind of trying to amplify that now even longer. So if I could get down, it was due to the fact that I had holidays and all that sort of stuff. If I could get double of that, if I get 6 weeks worth of content done, and I put a lot of thought into the content, a lot of experimenting, a lot of soul searching and all that sort of stuff of what kind of content I want to put out, and it's starting to make sense in a weird way more than it did before. So if I could get 6 weeks worth of content, what it would actually mean is that I would have time to work on other stuff, because I work so much on getting the content out, and I record a song, I create content to go with it, and then I don't want to be just promoting like me. I try to add as much value to people as I physically can, and so I try to do content that is somehow helpful or interesting, and it's not necessarily about me at that point, the content. So I kind of try to get a really nice mix of that stuff, so that I won't be just promoting me and my music. So I put a lot of thought into the content that I want to put out this month, and today I'm going to start batch recording a lot of stuff. So, and I want to kind of show you guys a little bit of the process, because you just see the end results coming out on my social media sites and everywhere. But I want to kind of show you guys that there's a bit of work goes into this, if you know what I mean. Obviously, I cannot show you the preparation part where I'm actually coming up with the ideas, because that's just me most of the time thinking and writing down stuff, or going online and researching stuff, or I also test stuff a lot. Like I might have a conversation online about something, and if it resonates with people, then it's kind of like, oh, okay, there's something interesting here. Maybe we can expand on that. If you guys got any questions about anything like this, what I do, let me know. I'm more than happy to talk about it and share it with you guys. Okay, I've been here filming for a while now, and coffee is empty. I did one of the recordings of the songs. I tried to do the second one, and it's just my voice is still a little bit under the weather, and I have to take it easy. I can feel it. I recognize my voice, and I know when it gets like this, I just have to take it easy, let it rest for a few more days before I start howling again. I thought I was better than I actually am yet, but we get there. get there. But I got a ton of other content recorded. I've been talking to the camera here in the garage. And yeah, a lot of interesting content. It's also like the shape of the stuff that I'm doing at the moment is kind of changing a little bit. And that goes back to what I said earlier on my journaling and like doing my own work, which is an ongoing process, which I hope never ends. Really, like I hope as long as I'm on this planet that I keep on working on myself and trying to be a better person. You know, but it's kind of paying. It's giving results. So the content is kind of taking little twists, and how I feel about the content. It just feels more me. It feels like I'm more putting myself into the content rather than just delivering content, if you know what I mean. And it feels good. It feels very good. Now, I think that's enough for today. I have to go and download all this stuff onto the old computer and then start editing. I don't know how far I get today, but I'm going to continue tomorrow editing. Probably have to wait until next week before I can start. No, towards the end of the week. I will be better by the end of the week, and I will record more songs. I want to do at least one more original, and I want to do a couple of covers here, and then I'll go back into the caravan and record more original songs as well. So it's all going to happen. But hey, thanks for sticking around with me today in the garage. Really appreciate it. What are you doing, Chaya? Chaya, what are you doing? I'm trying to work here. I'm trying to work here, okay? You see the tin foil on the table? Anybody guess what that is for? Some of us are trying to work, okay? Okay, childhood band story. This goes back to the days before I really knew how to play guitar at all. I must have been something like 10. And me and a couple of friends from a school, we decided we're going to start a band. It was more like playing, being in a band than actually band. You know, we didn't know how to play instruments at all. And even back then, like, English wasn't my first language, but all the bands that I listened to. Did you fart? I have to deal with this while I'm trying to film. Go fart somewhere else, okay? All the bands that I followed, they were, singing in English, and I kind of felt like, that's what I wanted to do. But I didn't speak English at that point at all, so I just picked a dictionary and picked up random words to put one after another, so I had something to howl. And we used to record this on like a stupid boombox, and we had like a couple of acoustic guitars and pots and pans for drums, and my poor mother had to listen to that when we were rehearsing. It must have been awful. But at the same time, it was that intuition of trying to create, desperate need to create something and put it out there, And looking back now, like, it was kind of very pure form of what I do today, Except now I have a little bit more skill and a little bit better tools to do it, and hopefully a bit more wisdom as well. I don't know. But it kind of reminds me that our path isn't always about forcing something new. Sometimes it's about remembering who we have always been. Ow! The cutest, most annoying little rascal ever. Rockstar, come on. Come on, Rockstar. Well, hello. We do not bite. We do not bite, okay? We do not bite. Not nice. Not nice. Not nice. Please don't put me down. Please don't put me down. We are in a full bite mode. We are like a full attack mode right now. Look. 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 Full attack mode. No. 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 God almighty, thinks I do. I'm trying to film here on the table, and you know, if she's not climbing on me, then I see this little no head coming off from the chair, looking at the table, trying to climb on the table. But she already understands the word no when you say it's sturdy enough. Welcome back to the Grange. Here we are today. Do what you are. Do what you are. You know, there's some wonderful artists who play in DADGAD, which is my tuning of choice. Apart from the 12 string, which is it's basically DADGAD just tuned down to C instead of D. Yeah, there's a lot of people who play DADGAD like this. There's some really unexpected people as well. But like there's common ones are like, you know, Pierre Susan's probably very well known French fingerpicker who's absolutely fantastic. Dick Gahan is mind-blowingly good at it. I heard that Dave Matthews does a lot in DADGAD as well, which is kind of a surprise for me, but yeah, so it seems. But Dick Gahan, yeah, he definitely was the one that kind of sold the tuning for me, because he just drives it. Dick Gahan is like a punk on an acoustic guitar with a lot of attitude, but also, by God, is he some man on the guitar. Last one. I'm just wrapping up another recording session here at the Grange. The voice needed a few days to recover. It's still at 100%, but it's, you know, when I say, look guys, when I say 100%, like my voice is, it's got years of abuse and all that sort of stuff, so it's never 100%. Doing what I do, you have to push it, you know, you have to, you know, if you're sick, you don't get paid. So I'm used to kind of singing through difficult situations, but when I'm recording something, whether it's a video or just recording, I do kind of want it to be as best as possible. Today it behaved, and I'm happy enough with that, but I can feel that it's a little bit tired at the end of all the recording, so now it's time to go and edit, and that wraps up a really, really big batch of recording that I've done in the past week, and editing. This is how, you know, it gives me time then to work on the other stuff, hopefully in the future. So hopefully, I don't know, hopefully you find this interesting. But yeah, the upstairs of Grange, it feels good to be doing stuff here as well. It's a nice space. Another little thing I wanted to tell you about before I wrap this week's vlog up. So yesterday, we had to take Chaya to the vet. It's nothing major, it's just the fact that she was abandoned at 5 weeks of age, so she hasn't got the mother's milk as much as she should have. So she's, you know, she suffered a little bit of a diarrhea, getting used to the new food and all that sort of stuff. And we've kind of been in contact with the vet all the time, and they kind of told us like whether what point we should get worried. And then yesterday morning she had a few accidents in the house, and she had them kind of like she's really, really good with the litter box. So it was kind of unusual for her to have them, and like it was like she couldn't control them at all, and like she didn't even notice that she was pooping. And so we rang the vet and then went to see the vet, and Chaya had a very traumatizing experience, which she took really, really well. I think I was more traumatized while holding her, and she was being probed. They had to take swabs twice from the little poor girl's bum, and she got an injection, and then we came home. We had to give her a new kind of food, which she didn't like at all, and we had to give her medicine and all sorts of stuff, and she's going to have to be taking some medicine now for the next few days. And poor girl, she's going through a hard time, but she's adjusting really, really well, and she is a trooper. She was, even with everything going on, she behaved so well in the vet. And you know, these are, when you rescue a abandoned cat, these are things that come along, and we're just happy that she's getting better, and hopefully in time, like the thing is that in time, like the vet said that this diarrhea is going to continue probably about 4 months. We have to wait now that we get the vaccinations in. Once she's vaccinated, then she can start going out, and when she starts going out, she starts building her immunity better. You know, she starts to be stronger, because she didn't get the immunity because of the lack of mother's milk the same way normal kittens would get. So she needs to build that up. So she needs to go out and get a little bit of a cold, get whatever's going around, and eventually she will build her own immunity to it. So yeah, that was an experience, and it was an expensive visit as well. Damn, never thought that cats would cost that much to go visit the vet, but yeah, they do. But she's doing well. She's really full of energy today. She was a little bit tired yesterday after the experience, but she's completely full of energy today, and she's eating some of the food that we gave her. We are giving her the new food, like little by little, swapping instead of changing it all. The new croquettes that she got, she's already got into eating them, so that's good. And the food will be, I'd say a couple of days, she'll be eating the food that is better for her gut. These are the weird things you face when you become suddenly a kitten parent out of nowhere. So that kind of wraps up, I think, this week's vlog. Once again, thank you very much for watching. If you haven't checked out yet, Howl at the Moon is out by now, so full moon is coming. It's going
We go out after moon. Our bare feet on the ground.